It's a Phil Kelly book. I don't know. It was stupid.
Tao Prison killed him.
Is it somebody's the guy who becomes one of the captains of the instead of Cato Sicarius in that one, and then he's speaking to one of them to give them intel, and when the Scar Lord is speaking, he just kind of drools, doesn't he? He just sounds like in the audiobook he's like he just sounds like
missing
because
half their face.
Their whole face is like warped.
Like
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to LoreCrimes. Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well. We got the memo. We will all wear a green hat. That was the rule. I'm going to start. I've got a nice little number here, little beret. It is green. Colin, would you like to talk about your hat?
Yes.
Look, there it is. There it is. I'm sorry. This is the best I had. Look, there is green on this hat, though. Tell me there isn't green on this hat.
It's true.
And
it's true. I don't know if that makes it a green hat, but it is a hat with green on it.
The first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian are goated.
True.
Then it gets real bad.
And then it gets bad, and then the Book of Boba Fett was both mid and also half not even about Boba Fett.
No, yeah, that hurts my soul. That
I know I had a more green hat upon me. I'm reading the chat.
Upon thee, peasant.
Look, I know I had it. I don't know where it went. I'm sorry.
I have an offering of. I have a green screen behind me, which is making it look less green because that's the most green thing that could possibly exist. But
I have a green room. Really.
He lives in green. If he wears any more,
Miami night outfit is killing me.
He'll blend in.
I have a green beanie for the audio listeners because this is actually my favorite hat as well. So
why? Yeah,
it's warm. It just is. There you
go. Eli, very pointy.
Well, a nice army hat from Japan itself. Well, in Japan, I have a Warhammer tournament tomorrow in the countryside, so I'll be wearing this hat. That's mainly why I got it. And then it happens to be Green Hat Day, so it's very convenient.
Wow.
Julius, if you remember him on the channel, has painted a tiger shark for me. So that's exciting. I'll be playing with that.
It is Tao, but it's nice that he put the effort in.
Yeah, that does disgust me. Speaking of discussing things, welcome everyone to LoreCrimes. I almost said Lodgecast there, Andy. Everyone, today is another fabulous episode. We are, of course, if you guys want to watch the live stuff, all the good things, we are offline as well. So live, you can watch it on our Discord has the link. So if you have all the donations and all that good stuff, all the horrific things you get us to say out loud, that's all on in our Discord. It's still on YouTube, all that good stuff. And then, of course, we're on Spotify and all that good stuff. But today we've brought an offering because Primarchs, they're boring. Gilliman, get him out of here. Ultramarines, I'm going to talk about shit about Ultramarines because Matt Ward will thunderstrike my house. He'll literally make me disappear.
As is right and just.
As is right and just. But today we brought an offering of some obscure Space Marine chapters that are weird, or simply, we should state, if you have ever I think most people have had a good time when they look through the Lexicanum or the wiki and stuff like that, and they go oh man, there's so many cool chapters. There's a lot of them that just say they are known for their was it the quote they're resolute.
They're merciless and they're strong. So they're grim and they're merciless and they always are indomitable. Yeah.
Or they have a super secret that nobody knows.
They don't like no aliens. Oh, bad.
Yeah, they're extremely xenophobic, which is wild for Warhammer, clearly. But today we've brought an offering of some more maybe these are some chapters some of you guys have heard of, but we've brought some ones that the average schmo may not have come across. And there's some kind of interesting ones. Sometimes they cook. Sometimes they've cooked a bit. Possum. Sorry, Possum has shown up in the chat for the listeners here. He says, "Don't spoil too many obscure chapters, otherwise Pancreas won't have Jeopardy questions to miss." Damn, Colin, how do you respond to that? Your piss poor quiz performances recently.
Oh, it's Possum, so he sucks and is dumb, and I don't care.
Wow.
We also love him. Don't worry, Andy. Let's not piss about anymore. Should we get straight into talking about, because this man knows every single Space Marine chapter most likely. So
Xenon was like, "Oh, this must be great for you." I'm like, "I didn't pick the topic; it was Hal's idea." I was just like, "Okay, fair enough." And don't forget, folks, you could watch my 20-hour video if ever you get stuck. So don't worry, it's all in there. But I thought I'd start us off with an offering of one of my favorites, which is very obscure. Which is the Crimson Castellans. And I tried to make them in Space Marine 2. Unfortunately, they don't have a tower with a skull on it. It's a very weird logo. And these guys, they had a portion of their chapter were corrupted by chaos during 993.1041. Then the Loyalists hunted them down to a hive world called Sephrax. And then they were beset by a splinter of Hive Fleet Leviathan called Jormungandr. Then their chapter master and his first company all died in the Underhive of Herventa. The Renegades fled to the asteroid belt above, and they have a Arch Commodore called Bloodspite. So, that's a fun name. They all died because then another Hive Fleet of Kraken intervened. So 2 Hive Fleets converged on the world they were defending. Then they had to abandon their homeworld of Vor Secunda because it was infected by a grey phage. But my favorite thing about them is their recruitment, because every 10 years, every decade, they recruit from about 5 different worlds, and they inhabit this place called the Valaden system. And this was where it was invaded by the Kraken and the Leviathan. They love defensive warfare. They use kill boxes to kill enemies. But the best thing about this chapter is they create not just crimson castles on all the worlds they inhabit, but they also open vineyards, because these guys have a hobby, and they're all winos. They like drinking wine. They activate their gene seed by, quote, drinking gallons of wine when they're neophytes, laced with pseudo hormones to activate their gene seed. And they drink from granite goblets, and they drink with the chapter serfs, and they let them drink wine with them, and all their eyes are yellow, and they're incredibly xenophobic, but no one's perfect. And they're like, "What do? I kill, I maim, I purge, but I also like a little Merlot, a little Pinot Grigio." And I think that's kind of quaint. There's a whole chapter of wine guys.
How nice.
The power of alcoholism.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They even were helped by an Eldar from being exterminated. There you go, Colin. When their home system was invaded, they basically were like, "Oh, we have 40 billion people to protect. Best I can do is 700k." So about less than 1 million survived the twin Hive Fleet attack, and they had a random lottery. So they didn't go only the rich, only the ecclesiarchy. They were like, "We do a lottery. Whoever gets a win gets a win." And then there was an Eldar called Isarion the Dispossessed. And this is an agent of Azaman who went "Oh, I'm just going to help BRB." And at the end of the campaign, after 7 weeks of conflict, he's just like, "I will help you and the majority of your chapter serfs." And I think it was only a small handful of Space Marines escaped. And now they're a spacefaring chapter because they lost their homeworld. But yeah, I just think they're kind of funny, where it's they've got the Witcher eyes. They're winos, and they are still around. I think we haven't seen any Primaris variants of them. The one pieces of art, you get that one where it's all the Space Marines staring forward. They have that art, and then the other one is a Death Watch guy who has a beard. And I'm like, that's all we get. I want to hear more about the Merlot Marines. That would be fun. So that's my first offering, the Crimson Castellans.
I'm not gonna lie, that's been really hard to top. Colin?
Yeah, I haven't even heard of those guys before. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty good.
You're in my house now.
You know when someone says you do you think as you get older, you go "Oh, I need to spend my time if I all the time I spent on my phone, I could have spent learning a language or blah blah blah. You know, like you kind of go like, oh, I could have been more efficient. Learning Space Marine chapters has somehow panned out for Andy so much that it actually turned into money. It's amazing. Oh man. Sorry, Colin, go ahead. I was interrupting.
The Genesis chapter.
I knew it.
You should have known. I mean, come on now. Are they not peak? Are they not the best thing ever? Are they not amazing? Now look. Listen, hear me out. Hear me out.
Oh, we're listening. What?
All right, I'm just making sure.
Okay, damn.
The Ultramarines are cool, but sometimes even they lose. Sometimes even they take pretty grievous losses. You know, First Tyrannic War, they had a second company, or no, they had a first company, and then they didn't, and then they did not have a first company any longer, right?
Oof.
Someone's got to fill those losses. Someone's got to fill those losses up, you know? So, what if we had a whole chapter of spares for the Ultramarines? And thus was born the Genesis chapter. That is it. That is why these guys are great.
But their colors are nowhere near like Ultramarines.
No, but you see, that's part of the genius, right? The Genesis chapter is a very red chapter. But you got to consider, Hal, remember? I mean, nowadays, Black Templars doing it, the Lion's back. I'm sure no one's going to complain. But for most of the Imperium's history, Legion building was a big no-no. But if you paint them red, that's the opposite of blue. And you say they're a different chapter. We're not Legion building. We're not using these as just an army of reserves.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
Didn't they get a little bit of a highlight in one, the Night Lords omnibus, but also the Dark Imperium books? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, I believe they were made one of the Shield chapters. Let me double check that actually.
I don't remember it from that. I remember the Night Lords trilogy one because they
highlight is a very strong word for their appearance in the Night Lords. But they are one of the Shield chapters of Ultramar. So, hey, they're important again. They're working right alongside their blue boys and their big blue brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a quote in the Night Lords trilogy one. They attack one of the Night Lord ships, well, the First Claw and their stuff on the Sugwalsa, which is like the planet that became their homeworld after they nuked their own homeworld. And there's a Genesis chapter, like, I don't know, is he like hero or something, or champion? And he has a Thunderhammer. And he proceeds to just completely decimate all of the Night Lords in front of him. And the only way, then he faces off the character called Zal, who's actually the champion of the Night Lords group. And I think the Genesis chapter I don't remember the exact word he says to him, but he says, like, he points like his dead brothers around him, and he says, like, my friends died with honor and blah, blah. And then the guy Zal just goes, oh, this is First Claw, and they're all cowards. And then Zal grabs Talos's like what is it? His like Blood Angel's blade and his like 200 chainsaw, and just proceeds to absolutely ball it out with his Genesis chapter guy. And I believe Zal does win, but then the Thunderhammer strike does in fact kill him like about 3 seconds after the fight.
Look, that guy probably wasn't going to be promoted to Ultramarine. He was not getting that honor.
I think he killed quite a few of the Night Lords around him. Though he outclassed all of the guys in First Claw. Like there were 4 of them attacking him. He just knocked them all back. There's a quote from one of the Azad. He says to Talos, like, "Did you get hit with a Thunderhammer?" And he's like, maybe, like my helmet got knocked back. He says, no, you did not get hit with a Thunderhammer, because if you were hit with a Thunderhammer, you'd be dead.
There'd be nothing left of you. But
grazed.
They admittedly, they might not have gone on, too many grand campaigns, but it is, there is like the general, general lore blurb if they work with the Ultramarines a lot. So, if the Ultramarines are doing something, you can probably find them right behind.
Fair enough.
And, again, I just like them because, again, I'm sorry. It's just so funny to me that what is your chapter's purpose? Reserves for a cooler one.
Eli, did you have one that comes to mind? Because you mentioned that you liked something quite obscure.
I had to dig pretty deep to remember any obscure Space Marine chapters. It's been a long freaking time since I touched any of that stuff, but I know the Jade Dragons from the Damocles books. I don't know if they show up in any other books.
I don't think they ever
It
are.
doesn't seem like any of you guys
Yeah.
are into that.
And I don't even know. I haven't even heard of them.
They're in one of the books of He Who Should Not Be Named, whose name
Phil
starts
Kelly.
with P. Yeah, but they're actually really cool. They're just like they operate in small little groups of dudes, and they're these like hyper superstitious omens seeking vision looking guys, and they're always seeking out the Black Leviathan, which is just chaos basically. But they search for the Leviathan in like in omens and stuff, so where which way blood might splatter, or if someone's wearing some weird clothing, they'll be like, "Oh, the Leviathan," and then the guys will confirm that they see it as well, and then they all work together to stop Black Leviathan. That's pretty much it. That's their whole gimmick, but they're pretty cool. They believe that the Emperor is guiding them through signs and weird, wacky ways of understanding chaos and stuff. And I think that's pretty neat. They work pretty much independently, just in small individual groups. That's pretty much it. If you want,
Is there any hint to their like
Consider
color
that.
scheme?
I don't remember. Green, I think. They are called the Jade Dragons, after all. I'll check.
It wouldn't have been the first time. Warhammer's a bit of a trend of like sometimes they name stuff confusingly, and then the ones I get like weirded out by is someone's got a really cool name and the most boring color scheme you've ever seen.
According to Lexicanum, they're black and jade. So that's pretty reasonable.
This
Nice.
is solid color. I mean,
Check
black
Some
goes
things.
well with
There's
anything.
nothing on these guys in here. Yeah, they're. Oh, it looks like they're in a novella called The Black Leviathan.
Yeah.
All right. Unless that is the one that I already read. Oh yeah, that's the Damocles book. Sorry. So yeah, that is the only place that they're in.
Nice.
And
I have
it's
an
not written. And
Oh, sorry.
hey, it's not written by. It's written by Ben Counter, not Phil Kelly. That's why there's something cool in one of these Damocles books.
What else has Ben Counter done, Andy? We know him.
Ben Counter's done the Soul Drinker stuff. He did Battle of the Abyss. He's done the Lysander
It's
books.
fun. He did
Yeah.
Galaxy in Flames. That was it.
Galaxy.
The
He's
third
done like a
Horus
bunch.
Heresy book. That's
Yeah.
that's a veteran. I have an offering, and I'm starting out small because I'm going to get to the more interesting ones. Do you guys like Iron Hands? Per chance?
Oh, good.
Sure.
Perhaps. I have an offering of what I think is something quite cool. The only thing that lets you down is maybe we'll have to get a picture of it if we do an edit or something, but the most disappointing color scheme you've perhaps ever seen. Imagine a Space Marine is black, except just the legs are red. Like that's the big thing. Just the legs are red. It's so fucking disappointing. But
Is that all you have for me?
but they are called the Iron Lords, and these guys as a Space Marine chapter. Okay, someone else, like, I beg GW, please give these guys a better color scheme because they need something to match kind of this coolness they have going, which is Space Marine chapters are designed to like go out, some of them are spacefaring, some of them go and, defend certain areas like Ultramar or whatever. These guys don't do that. They have one job. They blockade this one group of planets, basically called the Grendel Stars, and they only have
Grundle stars.
yeah, they only have one person, like one enemy they fight. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard of this like a few years ago, I thought it was the Bargussi. It is actually, in fact, called the Vile. Like when Elden Ring happened, and someone goes like, "Bail, Vile, Bail,
you,
Bail." Apparently, it states they're called the Vile Bargessi, and When I had to look these guys up,
Oh yeah,
they look like just dogs. They're just dogs. They look like
they're like dog sharks.
yeah, they're ugly.
Yeah.
And Xenos, disgusting. But apparently, this chapter's sole job is to fight these dogs. So they are fighting sentient princess, the race, and yeah. But the thing is, they've had some issues. So, like their whole thing is that they
You don't
just
bite.
like, apparently they fight these guys because their whole point, like they just need to keep these Xenos contained, not eradicated. Apparently, it requires a whole chapter just to keep them contained, which obviously means Princess is trying to break out of like the pen or something. I don't know, but they have fought surrounding enemies like High Fleet Kraken. Other like it basically, if someone goes near where they exist, they will like fight them off. And if I remember correctly, their biggest fear was that the hive mind / the Tyranid mass would assimilate Barghesi into it, because obviously like it can absorb the DNA from anything it eats. So they were particularly worried like if they ate these guys, they would make Tyranids even stronger. So yeah, I don't even imagine like how apparently strong these Xenos they're fighting are. So they apparently that's the only time they were like, hey guys, we actually have to look outside the tent rather than inside the tent. And it gets better because these poor Iron Hands, who, you know, Iron Hands never get any successors. Fuck us, apparently. They have just been told, apparently, the only new recent law is since Imperium Nihilus, they're basically they're cut off. No one's helping them. They're ticking down their resources, and the Barghesi is starting to rise up. So, fuck. That's it. Literally,
Wow, very nice.
But
Iron Hands have maybe the most Nothing Burger successor chapters in Warhammer. These guys sound pretty neat. The rest of the successor chapters for Iron Hand, even like Brazen Claws and stuff, feel like maybe they have 30k lore, but their 40k lore is completely.
What's the one that there was a pamphlet and everyone's like, Steel Brethren, where they were like, is
Steel
this chapter real? Steel Confessors, that's the one, yes. So there was that whole thing, and then there's the Sons of Medusa. They're pretty cool. They've got like the free their chapter symbol has 3 different color schemes depending on which of the 3 companies. It's like silver on green, black on green, or green on black, something like that, or silver on black. And yeah, they're kind of fun.
You need more than different color schemes to convince me that they're cool.
The Knights of Byzantium are purple. That's pretty cool.
The Greek boys throw a whole kebab down my neck. That shit is so tasty.
What?
Sorry, souvlaki. Sorry, apologies.
What do you mean by that?
Should we read some donations?
Yeah. Shall we bail Hal out of that?
I stand by it. Stand by it.
Another one I will quickly mention, let me just check my notes, is could you also check this for me, Hal? Can you check out what the book is for the Dark Hunters? Because this is I just wanted to include this mainly for this, but just so you know, they are White Scar successors.
We'll get to it. Sorry, I'm mumbling. I was reading chat.
That's right. Their White Scar successors, sired during the 37th millennium. They hail from the night world of Phobian. They were founded by Captain Angnar from the Horus Heresy White Scars. They were given a power axe that was said to be used by Jagatai, which they use as their chapter badge, which is what they know as the Axe of Justice. They are, no joke, Hal, known as being grim and resolute warriors. It's the meme. the meme.
Wow.
It's called Dark Hunters Umbra Sumus.
Yes.
So Umbra Sus.
Umbra Sumus is a whole story where they combat a war band called the Punishers. Great series. Eminem loved it. And they have a bad relationship with the Mechanicus, and they hate tech heresy. But here's the fun fact. Their book, as far as I know, is the rarest book in Warhammer lore. There's, as far as I'm aware, only been like 12. I don't know how much of this is like hearsay, but I've heard there's like double digits of these have ever been found. And when they go to auction, they're worth like hundreds of pounds, because people are like, has anyone got this book? And there's like 10 people or so have gone like, I have it on paperback. It's like, does anyone else? No, it's just like a weird little gimmick in Warhammer lore, where as far as I'm aware, it's the hardest book to acquire in the entire lore canon. Whoa,
Oh.
love to see it.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah, Umbra Sumus. So if you do find Umbra Sumus, please PO box it to the Remembrancer. I'll pay you £10. Please send me this book. It would be fun.
I'll send you a picture of a corgi.
Yes, I will. I'll
An
send
actual
you-
corgi, by the way, not like a euphemism for something.
I don't think we were thinking
No one was thinking that until you.
Oh,
said
they
that
were thinking
horrible
it. I know our
sentence.
chat.
No, I
I
don't
know
think
that.
anyone was. You have gone rogue.
That's a hell of a good name for it, though.
He's chilling.
Is it?
What is get bro away from the stove
Oh,
immediately?
The food has not been cooked; it's been burnt. Colin, did you have another offering of obscurity?
I do, and this one is actually a chapter that I like for reasons beyond hee funny ultramarine. Guardians of the Covenant.
Oh.
They are a
Word bears.
no, they're a Dark Angel successor chapter,
Oh.
and they're one of those chapters who have glorified garrison duty because there's something sufficiently threatening where they're at. They stand guard around the Halo stars, and at some point held off an invasion all on their own against the species known as the Lilith. That's kind of all there is on that event. That's one of those background, hey, look at all the cool aliens we could be showing you lore events. But they did it, so don't worry about it. Although I do like that lore blurb because it happened in M41 and no one has any records of it, which is really fucking impressive. Like if the U.S. just forgot who George Washington was. Like, that didn't happen all that long ago, relatively speaking. But no, their chapter icon is basically like the OG Deathwing icon. When the Dangels, they were still Legion, so they've probably got a lot of cool toys with. They are, in spite of that, listed as being founded several millennia after the second founding. But if you'd like a way to kind of reconcile that little oddity, it's not like the Dark Angels don't lie. And just say, no, these guys were definitely like a 9th founding or something. Don't worry about it.
I mean, admitting the truth doesn't necessarily mean you lie. It's like something I remember reading in one of the Gears of War books by Karen Travis, where it's like, just because I don't say the truth doesn't mean I'm lying. I'm just admitting things.
Yeah, okay.
Prescott, you cheeky boy. You cheeky
Okay.
boy. Just because a Dark Angel chapter guy shanks a guy before he can say the truth doesn't mean he's lying. He's just not letting him say anything. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. What about you?
But
you're not finished. Sorry.
Oh, there's more.
Okay.
They've kind of got one of their thing is like they've almost got like a little bit of everything in them, right? They what is it? One of their big things is preserving knowledge, which does sound a little Thousand Sunsy, but they also, they take tactics from basically whoever likes it. Like they also on their chapter banners is also the Codex Astartes, because they came to the realization that I wish more people did, that if you take all the Primarchs together, you probably get some good wisdom out of each of them, or at least a functional human being. What if we don't just listen to our dad? And it's they held off a Xenos invasion all on their own. They do kind of burn down libraries after they're done looting them, so no one else can read the books. So that's a little space wolfy of them too. But look, they got I like that they got a little bit of everything. They're like vaguely smart. They're not the mentors, Andy, but it's like, oh, you accept that everyone's got something. We can take from everyone. I like the Guardians of the Covenant. Also, something getting in the way. Something's just about to break. Diary of Jane, Halo. They have Covenant in their name. That might have been what drew my eye to them at first, because I am 12.
That's also where you're like, I like the Halo dragons as well. They're a fun chapter.
The Halo brethren.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
What about, have you got any others you'd like to discuss, Eli?
Sure. maybe I can go through a couple really quick because they're all nothing burgers. Colin's got me thinking. I was mistaken. I was thinking of the Covenant of Fire. Not that I really remember anything about these guys, but I know they're a salamander successor and one of the many Sustus Amogus Primaris marine lines that Call made, and they're definitely just word bearers that are salamanders. I think they really like books, and they really like burning other books. That's all I remember about them. Oh, and they're very secretive. They're very secretive.
They burn.
And then I think I rather it sounds like if you put salamander and word bearer together, burning book sounds right up their alley. So, I don't know. But anyways, they're Scar Lords, as was mentioned by Xenon. They're literally their whole thing is that they're ugly, and then that's it. And they got killed by the Tau. Their gimmick is that they keep their scars and they don't let their wounds fully heal, because like by your scars will you be judged or something by the Emperor. And their shtick is that they don't wear helmets. So they sent the guys who don't wear helmets to go fight the Tau, and unsurprisingly, they died. It's a Phil Kelly book. I don't know. It was stupid.
Tau prison killed them.
Is it somebody's the guy who becomes one of the captains of the Ultramarines? He's instead of Cato Sicarius in that one, and then he's speaking to one of them to give them intel. And when the Scar Lord is speaking, he just kind of drools, doesn't he? He just sounds like in the audiobook. He's like, he just sounds like
missing
because
half their face.
Their whole face is like
warped. Like
that.
Yeah, but that's like they're in like 4 books, but that's all their lore. Otherwise they're just Space Marines who fight the Tau.
Yeah, they're the cannon fodder. I think they get completely just obliterated as well by the end. It's like they're gone now.
Oblatai sends a missile to their ship when they're trying to exterminate us, but then the ship blows up. I don't know. It's a stupid book. It's a stupid series written by a goofball. It's all this dumb stuff. I don't know.
They destroy their Gellerfield, so I think that's one way they get one of those.
I don't know, but
they did what?
They destroyed their Gellerfield, I'm sure, at least in something.
I think you're right. Freaking what's his name? Bravestorm. Bravestorm sneezes on them when they invade Farsight's ship. He beats them up, which is cool. Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing else to say about these guys. And then lastly, I'll say one more really quick one. One more Sussus Amogus Primaris chapter that most people probably know about nowadays are the Sons of the Phoenix, who are definitely Emperor's children, pretending to be Imperial fists. They're very zealous, and they're obsessed with crusading, but crusading really well and being perfect about it and perfectly purging the foe and looking really pretty. Their armor is unblemished and shiny and nice, and they're very sound tactically and have the perfect ways of war and blah blah blah. So that's nice. There's more chaos guys. There was in the Silent King book just the other day I was reading, and pretty sure Call mentions that he reforged the lines of 18 Space Marine chapter or 18 Primarchs or whatever. So it's pretty much confirmed that there's some stuff going on there.
Much to Gilliman's protest, he's like, "Call."
There's 3 random goofballs for you.
I have an offering. You guys might have heard of these guys, because they kind of have the cooler like chapter symbol and name. Does the name Death Spectres jump out at the boys?
Oh, these
it does.
Hot
It does
topic.
ring a bell.
I know about the Death Spectres.
Yeah.
Horrible.
So we're talking 13th Cursed Founding, Raven Guard successors, and they're kind of. I've noticed I've had a bit of a theme so far. They have one job also, which seems to be they are in the Ghoul Stars, which Colin, do you want to explain what the Ghoul Stars briefly are?
It's just a bit of the galaxy that's just absolutely fucking terrible. Like, it's just everything in there sucks. Like, a Tyranid Hive fleet went in there by accident once and came out mutated. and it should be noted that they can get lost in the warp and not come out mutated. Like whatever the hell is in there is awful. It's the galaxy-wide version of Detroit.
Damn. Yeah, something's wrong with this area because so they kind of were founded by their weird leader whose name I actually had to write down because I don't want to name off heart. Corcadus. This guy was apparently like, the Emperor sent me a Snapchat, guys, and we need to go to the Ghoul Stars. So they find this weird world, and they find this strange throne, and then they also find this weird artifact that is called the Sharinx, which is when I first heard it, I thought it was like a cat food company, to be honest. It sounds like something, but which I quite enjoy. Like they imply it's somewhat kind of Lovecraftian, like something is really wrong with it. And basically their main shtick is that they guard the Ghoul Stars and particularly this artifact. And the way they do this is that the chapter master goes, so basically in their chapter, we should say, by the way, they're like basically all black. They're like bone colored shoulder pads, and they have like scythes and a skull as their symbol. And when you get promoted, someone goes, "So you're the chapter master now? Great, time to die." So the chapter master goes to sit sits on a throne of glass, and just basically will never leave it, and will stay on this throne until they die, which implies that the throne just basically slowly kills the chapter master, and this somehow acts like a conduit or like a prison, like it helps imprisonate whatever thing they are trying to prevent being unleashed. And weird enough, though, apparently it's so like vague, in which it's like the Shirax makes the chapter master have like more power, which apparently, in quotes, is vital to maintaining their watch over the Ghoul Stars. So I assume it's some kind of way to maybe like see the whole system or like navigate without necessarily being obscured by the warp or whatever other horrific things lie in that area. Again, but the chapter master will slowly die. And then, so you're probably thinking, the chapter master, does he talk? No, but yes. Because apparently he's decided he only really speaks to like either the first captain or the chief librarian. It wasn't really clear. I assume it probably is the chief librarian who like acts as a conduit for the first captain, who's probably like, that's where I'm fucking going next, I'm fucked, so he's like staring like, that's my next seated position. I gotta choose a good position, otherwise I'm gonna get neck ache or something. But yeah, like the weird part is like the Death Spectres, they also are a bit of a theme with chapters, arseholes. Massive arseholes, because it said that they don't care.
Somebody clip that.
Yeah, clip massive arsehole. But they don't care. Like there are some human like colonies or like outposts in the Ghoul Stars. They will not fight really to defend them, because they consider their main goal to be like defending this kind of relic or like preventing this alien or like this Xenos threat that periodically, when the Black Templars are like summoned to help fight it or something, periodically they'll come and like cleanse it or whatever. They only care about people in the sense of recruits for the chapter. So if everyone looks to the sky in the Ghoul Stars, they're like, "We're saved." You're not saved. They're ducking in
under new management.
Yeah, they're ducking in and they're ducking out. They're like, "Sorry guys, we're just here to collect up the little orphanage, and then we're out. We don't care about you." But apparently they have one objective, which is their founder, Mr. Merin Corcadus, in this throne of glass. He's supposedly supposed to come back to life. There's supposed to like some kind of great resurrection, they call it. And yeah, like it's very vague. Like there's like some sacrifices or like I don't know. Like it is kind of bizarre. Like it's meant to be, I guess, intentionally vague. But yeah, there's a cool part about these guys, which are kind of finishing off, which is they their first company is known as the Wargeists, so continuing the death theme, which kind of reminds me of was it Vargeists in the God, you summon the Vargeist.
He's awoken.
He's awoken the trauma bond for Vargeist. Yeah, the Wargeist is like there, and they also they copy the Death Guard here, and they wield power size in battle, which is kind of cool. So if anyone's out there and they're kit bashing these guys, because they kind of are cool. I should say they're not really black. They have like a very brown, dark gray, but it looks quite cool on their armor. And that's kind of the Death Spectres, though. They are Raven Guards, so they are mopey, but they kind of live in, like you said, they live in like a very dangerous area. They have I like the mystery surround these guys. They have like a mystery that sounds quite cool. If someone does ever make a book about these guys, I will read it immediately because it sounds amazing. Yeah, nice. That's my offering. I think do you have any more of the? Was there any other donations we need to get through?
Yeah, we got a few. So with that said, I've got like a few more. Some are shorter than others. Do you want me to go through one of the last longer ones?
I've got two more as well. If you want to switch between.
So I'm going to do like. I do mentors. Screw it. I like mentors. I love mentors. And you can't say that around this because, so they're like my favorite. Their homeworld is unknown. No one knows where they live. No one knows where they're from exactly. All we know is they're probably Ultramarine successors. Stock designated the 888th chapter. They replaced the former Star Scorpions who used to have the same heraldry. And they're from the 26th founding of 738 M41. Fun fact, they were there since the beginning of Space Marines. They used to be a bespoke little unit you could have in your armies, which was fun. That's no longer a thing in the tabletop, unfortunately. And their gimmick is they don't operate like an army. They operate as specialists. So generally speaking, while they do have squads of 10-man teams, they are led by tutors. They have no sergeant classification. They only have like captains, battle brothers, and then like chapter masters. They also tend to operate alone. So much so that, like in the only time they've been in a book, which is Spear of the Emperor by ADB, there's one, and he's got two helots, which are specially trained mortals, and they have like digital weapons and like all sorts of fun stuff. And it's like one guy who's a space marine with two mortal like accompaniments. They have really good ties to the Inquisition. They're recognized as possibly the best trained space marine chapter ever. Because other than like the Grey Knights, they do missions other chapters can't do. They supplement other forces rather than wage war. They don't go, let's send 100 men to kill a hive fleet. They'll go, let's send one guy to a beleaguered chapter world or garrison of the Astra Militarum or Mechanicus Forge world, and he can try and rally them to do it better. And so they don't go out on all-out wars. They all have like genius levels of like strategy and adaptability, memorization. They have an elite cadre as their first company, though again, rarely deploying more than 3 to 5 of them at a time. They have some of the best gear, and even when they're sent to the Death Watch, even when they're part of a kill team, they work alone. So they'll just be as far away from all the others as they can be, and they're like, don't worry, I'm going to work alone. I'll help the kill team, but in my own way, and I don't play well with like a team. Just because they're built. Some people are like, oh, maybe they're Alpha Legion, like sneaky successors, but I don't know about that. We've been told officially they are Ultramarine stock. So imagine if it was like uber duper like specialists, and their like drawback is that they can't fight in like a big army. They just like send one guy at a time. I kind of like that. And they used to have a little owl, but now they have like it's like a bird's head. And I think they're fun.
If they had an owl, that reminds me of like things where like things have like wolves or something, but then is it on Terra they mentioned like during the heresy or something, like, oh, I've never even seen a wolf.
Oh yeah,
they call the lunar wolves, and they're extinct on Terra. So like we've never even seen a wolf.
Yeah, and there's like a Prospero Burns like, I saw it on the computer. What, a dog? Like, yeah, I saw a dog on the computer. Oh, okay, that's how you know.
I have an offering. I guess this one isn't the most obscure, but not everyone knows this one, which is of course black dragons, just because they're so cool. If people don't know, you guys, people listening, they like salamanders. Yeah, you're not getting that. So these guys are one of the other group who are part of that 21st curse founding. So they're the ones where apparently some Magos went, guys, Space Marines. What if we just fucked them up? Like, what if we just made it worse? And this is a chapter. Well, I guess it's like the thing, they don't like claim to be salamanders or something, or like they kind of make sure they're divorced from it, and they have a special problem. They're mutants. They mutate. This is Wolverine, because these poor guys, they have little bony growths that come out of like their arms, or like even their helmet sometimes, and yeah, and then sometimes they just randomly, like, they cover them with adamantium. Okay, and then apparently sometimes they're retractable as well. So they, instead of like a guy being like, oh, I need to have my chain tool or something, bro has his sword on his arm.
Do
He
they?
doesn't need to, yeah, so quite a few of them, well, interesting enough, like there are sometimes ones where the bony growths go out, or like it goes out of what's the word, like it goes out of control, and they kind of have like a weird, like, extra kind of company, which they call the Dragon Claws, which is very uninspiring considering they're called the Black Dragons. But they basically, all their armor is black. They have like a little symbol, like a dragon symbol on their shoulder, and often they don't. When you see them in artwork, they don't sport the Aquila on their chest. They kind of have like a dragon like symbol across their chest plate. And whenever people have seen them in stories, there's a short story. There's a few short stories ones with them where there's a person who's like hiding in a ship that's been taken over by Drukari, and then I think it's a lady or a man, I can't remember who it is, but like a naval officer or something, like is just hiding in the lower decks, and then like the Black Dragons like punch into the ship, and this person is like, oh, Astartes are here, and then just goes to look at them, and they're like,
Ugh.
oh, there's like bone protruding out of them. That's horrific.
He's got a boner, said the poor fella. Oh,
luckily as well, apparently, being a Black Dragon, it gets worse, because sometimes the growths that happen on them can, like, they just, like, obviously part of the Dragon Claws company, sometimes they have guys in it who are like, yeah, it's too much even for those things, and it's kind of like a ball of like a hobbling mess. And sometimes also their Astartes are enormous, just randomly, like, they have huge. They just have big dudes every once in a while. So they have to customize their armor every once in a while. They are also, unlike their salamander origins, not the nicest. So, like, they also, what I find funny, they hate the salamanders. They just don't like them at all. And there's even like a story of like, I think a blood dragon, the black dragon became like he was rejected by them, and then he became like part of like the salamanders. And
yeah,
then
they adopted him. They're like, we found a stray. Like,
yeah,
oh.
and then they tried to like take him back or something, and then one of the black dragons got killed in the fight, and they're like, okay, no one else is dying for this dude. So then they just left it at that. But they appeared in Armageddon as well. They appeared during the Third War, I think.
Mhm.
They've had I think it was a short story. Well, no, it might have been the Second War, actually. I'd have to double check it. But the one of the characters written by Mr. Annadale, he has a Sister of Battle character who is like, she has no coven anymore, and no sisterhood. Like, they got killed, and she was found by some of these lovely Astartes. But kind of cool. So if people want to like create like a more of unique looking like chapter for the board, obviously having like bony protrusions as like weapons is kind of a nice thing. Whenever they're in artwork, they have a very nice like crested helm of like a spike, which always looks really cool. I don't think I'm missing anything else. Andy, is there anything cool that I miss about them?
Did they ever
Well,
say bub?
Bub.
Yeah, well, you said they're like Wolverine.
Wolverine.
But yeah, I mean, the whole like put adamantium on their like bony protrusions that can retract is so like. I mean, yeah, someone else. Once again, Warhammer copying homework there.
I can think of something that's not cool about them. They exclusively are written by Nick Kime, who writes the Salamanders books, and that's where you learn of them.
Bro.
It's like,
In the bin, in the trash.
Yeah. Any more? Eli or Colin? Do you have any others you'd like to mention?
I like the Valedictors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Eli, did you have?
No, you could say whatever that is. I don't know what we're talking about.
They're a first founding legion.
Okay.
Oh yes, in original lore, yes.
An original rogue trader. Yeah, I didn't just make that up and pull that out of my ass. No, when it was rogue trader, we knew all 20.
Just what's your logo? The with the wings.
Yeah. And at least at that point, they supposedly, they were at the ass end of the heresy, because I think they did just squeak in barely when there was a Horus heresy, but before they got retconned out of being, a first founding legion. So they saw action against not only traders, but also orcs and Eldar. And I also just think it's neat that conceptually the Horus heresy existed at the same time that we knew all 20 original legions. That's, I don't know, that's kind of it. I don't know. It's fun little Warhammer history more than anything.
Yeah, that's good.
What
about you, Eli?
That's cool. If you want another Space Marine chapter created just to die to the Tau is the Avenging Sons. They're just Ultramarines who got killed by Tau. But someone in chat, what?
They are around. They are around still, kind of.
They're so good at, dude. They're so good at being incompetent.
Yeah. Someone in chat mentioned the Steel Confessors, which is a cool Iron Hands chapter that I don't know a lot about, but I remember. To what I remember, they were basically an Adeptus Mechanicus chapter. Yeah. And they're also Trinitarian, like they're Catholic Space Marines, so that's pretty cool.
And until last year, the source of all this information was, oh, trust me, bro, I found a leaflet about them at an event once, and everyone was like, where is this forbidden? And then eventually, like last year, some guy just went into like his cupboard and was like, oh, I found it. It's like, what? Yeah, here's the leaflet. I found it in my cupboard. And it's like, you've just like revealed one of the biggest mysteries in Warhammer lore. Like, oh, well done, you. And he's like, it's like, well done. And so now we know for a fact that yes, we have the source. We found the material.
I think there's a lot more lore than what I mentioned, but that's all I really know about them. That's all I remember.
Yeah, I did actually once ask Peachy and also try to contact GW. Like, have you got like any records of this before I do like a little quick video on them? And they were like, nope. And then thankfully it was just like, whew, it's correct. Nice.
Bro contacted G Dubs for chapter law. It's crazy.
Yeah. They just went, go away, you. We don't like you. Get away. Get away from me. I've got a few more. I've got 2 honorable mentions and some very quick ones. One I'd like to mention is one that's actually a case of a fan chapter that became canon. And this was made by Mengel Miniatures, who's got like a painting stuff and miniatures and stuff on Instagram, etc. And their lore is they were created during the 34th millennium. They have the home mode of Archaea, which was devoured by High Fleet Leviathan. But here's the reason why this is such a fun chapter, right? Their first chapter master was named Alexandros the Great.
Of course.
Very nice.
And then he got infected by a Nurgle contagion, and then every successor of him has to drink a bit of his infected blood as like a trial by like fire to make sure they're worthy. And then, bear in mind this is now canon, another one of their, because they were all called Alexandros the Mad fell to chaos. And now the current chapter master is called Alexandros the Blind, and he is a blank. He is a null chapter master. And so the chapter follows him because the Mad has psychic powers. He has resistance to psychic powers. And so he's like trying to chase him down to kill him. I'm like, it's a bit on the nose, but it's also quite fun. Like, oh,
Yeah, I've never heard of
blank
these.
soulless chapter master.
That's cool.
That's quite
That
fun.
is pretty cool.
That's a fun gimmick. That's a novelty.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, and guess what they're descended from? The Sons of Dawn.
That's not the Ultramarines. I don't like that anymore.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery. It's the Imperial Fist. Any more, Hal or Colin or Eli?
I do have
someone in.
Was it good?
Someone in chat said Sons of Antaeus. They're big Space Marines that are maybe Alpha Legion, and that's it. I'm pretty sure. I think that's the entire lore blurb for that. Unless I'm wrong, but I remember watching the 40K Theories video when I was younger, like literally a decade ago, about these guys, about how they're really big and mysterious Space Marines who are probably Alpha Legion.
Yeah, chunky boys.
I have one more. I don't know whether to say it before or after the next donations or not, though. Should I say it now or should I?
Go for it. We'll be fine.
Okay, well, someone definitely mentioned this one earlier, which, because it's Iron Hands, of course, no one knows anything about anything that goes on with these guys, which is the Sons of Medusa. Shout out to Mishmash, who this is his favorite chapter. I think, Colin, have you ever seen Mishmash's videos on this stuff? Yeah. This guy does he has a great Warhammer channel about kit bashing, and he also shares my love, although I'm on the other side of this debate here, because you'll see what I'm talking about, which is the Sons of Medusa themselves. They are Iron Hands, except they do not like Iron Hands because they
True, so real.
They were birthed from something called the Moire Schism, which essentially boils down to in the Mechanicum, some guys were going, by the way, guys, you know the Astronomicon? Yeah, what? Messages in it. Swear to God. Swear to the Omnissiah, there's messages in the Astronomicon. You've got to buy my loyalty program and then subscribe, whatever that stuff is.
Just got to manifest it, bro. You just got to manifest it.
But apparently this created quite a divide. And it, obviously, if you know anything about Iron Hands, they worship the Omnissiah. Kind of the Emperor as well, but they worship the Omnissiah. The Mechanicum is deeply intertwined with the Iron Hands to the point where they have Mechanicus elements inside their ruling council. So the problem is this schism also infected half of the Iron Hands chapter, and then it just turned into basically a full-on civil war, which is not good. The only it just gets the whole point, the Iron Hands, of course, there's not many of these guys. The fact that they were divided fucking sucks. It's just not good. But it does have a kind of good ending for the Imperium in some way, which was they basically, at some point, the schism kind of ended, and the issue was a lot of the guys in Iron Hands hey, we know we lost a few people. Also, those fuckers over there, they don't trust us and we don't trust them. So they basically went, you know what? We're dividing. We're splitting the chapter, or sectioning off the guys who can't stay with us. And they turn into a divergent, fleet-based one. This is quite cool because then they become the Sons of Medusa. They get their own color scheme. They get obviously that iconic green with a white helmet. And they're looking, especially if you watch a Mishmash's videos, it's great kit bashing of them, and I watched a lot of stuff recently. But so they basically become a fleet-based chapter. They go off and they create their own version of the Iron Hands, which is kind of similar. So they also have a ruling Iron Council in sort of similar way. The kind of, I guess the interesting part, they're kind of Iron Hands, but they actually are we're actually gonna do shit and get shit done. And they often appear in many of the more recent stuff. So they were in Badab as well. So they featured in Badab War. They kind of show up, and they have lots of good, really fucking good gear. Although we should say parts of the Mechanicus don't like them because obviously they're hey, there's obviously the Mechanicus have their own kind of issues and schisms, and obviously the fact that these guys are around, they're like, we don't fuck with those guys, they're, he's not from my block, stuff like that. But in some way they kind of are a bit more, they're on the prowl, and these guys do fight a lot. They show up a lot in more recent events, and I don't really. Was there any do any more details, Andy? Because I'm not I like these guys, but I'm not the most familiar with them. But
I haven't brushed up on them in a while. I know they got 3 companies, like I said, instead of having 10, and they're quite big. They're more like clans than companies, and they all have a different color scheme for the chapter logo. That's how you tell. I know they also have a unique tech marine, which are called Forge Fanes, I think. And that's just their name for tech marines. And they're obviously quite good tech marines, because it's we're using a different type of understanding technology, a different framework. So we're quite good at it. So, okay.
Yeah. So if you guys were to make your, if you were thinking, all 3 of you out there who are I kind of like Iron Hands, but I don't want to have to paint all black armor again, because that could be a real bore and be really difficult. There's a whole chapter who you can paint it in. But wait, we should say their color is disgustingly bright green, like
a kiwi,
just
inside of a kiwi.
It's I don't know how to describe it. It's naff green. It's the kind of green where if you were a petrol station or a gas station,
bubblegum green.
If your gas station was this color, that shop inside is fucking filthy. It's naff green, but it is iconic. I guess it was Sprite green. Is that the one?
Yeah,
Sprite green. Yeah,
wow.
But they are kind of cool. And if anyone doesn't like Iron Hands, they probably enjoy them too, because they were haha, we took half the Iron Hands and we pissed off. So yeah, there you go. I have one more just to end my part.
I got a few more.
Just to end a mention.
I can also be incredibly loud and obnoxious if everyone gives me permission.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mishmash, Sons of Medusa mentioned. Fuck you.
Wow.
He was in a Discord call, so I just kind of joined that. He was still in the one with Froggy and someone else there that I don't know. I pulled back the loud and obnoxious. I'm not gonna lie. I did kind of want to yell.
Violence today. Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna lie. That sounded like you were more concerned rather than angry.
It's I realized that was in a little stream chat, and I don't need to blow out an audience's ears. But by God,
hello there.
Wanted to know I wanted to yell.
Hello there. I'm
that's
ticked off
audio
about the Morai schism.
I'm going to end my part on these guys, also from a cursed founding, called the Blood Gorgons. These guys, Andy mentioned earlier about obscure novels. I believe this is also one of the cases, because I think this is 5th edition, and the Blood Gorgons, they don't have any origin chapter supposedly, but their kind of gimmick is that they fall into chaos, and that their kind of their skin, their bodies have become more almost impenetrable, and they're really, really difficult to kill. And they're most likely an Iron Hands successor, probably, because Blood Gorgons, the Gorgon being Ferris's nickname. But they fall into chaos, and they have one of their iconic art pieces, actually, I think, is it the 5th edition codex cover?
It's the 6th edition codex.
6th edition codex, sorry.
That they're the cover of, which is so weird.
Yeah.
For such a random chapter to be on the front. But
it does remind me, because technically they're now a war band. It kind of reminds me of remember when Games Workshop tried to make what are they called? The
Interesting Lore? No, I don't remember.
The war band.
Crimson Slaughter is what I think.
Crimson Slaughter. They had a whole codex, and they were let's make them a thing.
Yeah.
And then it just didn't take.
It was a weird little side quest from GW, yeah.
Yeah, so the Blood Gorgons, they also have an interesting history, as in real life history, which is they are written by an author. I think his name is Henry Zhao or Harry Zhao. He made a novel, I think a novella as well, maybe about these guys, and they have quite a decent fleshing out. There's a slight issue though, which is this guy no longer works for Games Workshop, because he got them in trouble for plagiarism. He parts of his, I think when I looked up years ago as well, allegedly, I'll say here, allegedly, parts of his novels are filled with like basically plagiarized sentences and whole paragraphs from other people's works. Allegedly,
Yeah, he's
in
the
my
one who did
opinion.
the Inquisitor Bastion war novels. So yeah, like
Yeah, so you cannot like you can't buy these novels that he or novellas he made about these guys.
Well,
To be frank, GW is completely fine with plagiarism as long as you're sneaky enough to get away with it. GW Warhammer is like an entirely plagiarized setting.
I do like
What?
his wiki page though. He's in full like military like fatigues. It just says when he's not working or studying, he devotes his time to submission wrestling and listening to Baltic gypsy rock. Fair enough, mate.
Wow.
You do you.
You do what you gotta do, my guy.
Yeah, but apparently this was quite a few years ago now. But yeah, he got caught out, and therefore these guys were not mentioned ever again. So it was kind of a cool concept though, which was like they are Iron Hand chaosy ones who like they have a mutation that makes them just almost like Death Guard. But yeah, that's kind of
were they not part of that
Curse
I don't remember
Founding.
what it's called, Crusade, the Crusade that went really bad.
They're not part of the Abyssal Crusade, not that one.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, only one chapter came out of that, if I remember correctly.
The Vorpal Swords. I guess we could mention
Yes.
them.
Yeah.
The Abyssal Crusades, like when the a saint supposedly of the ecclesiarchy.
A false
Yeah.
saint, I guess,
He sends 30. He condemns 30 chapters for conspiring with mutants and heresy, and they have to go on a penitent crusade in the Eye of Terror. So he sends 30 chapters. Most of them are like their full chapters. I think only a few were like not full strength, and basically, yeah, all of them just basically fall to chaos. All of them slowly take apart, or they turn to like modern day like war bands, and only one group came out with I think the Vorpal Swords or like Blades, something similar to that, and they again are a sickly green, sprite green colored chapter. They said they conquered 400 worlds, and they emerged, and they immediately emerged like hundreds of years later, dug up the remains of the ecclesiarch and said, put his bones on trial. This guy is a certified heretic. You know, it was a plan. I swear, bro, I swear. So yeah, they did a who's that Pope in history, Colin, who got his like he got his shit like persecuted even death.
Oh yeah, they dug up his corpse and put him on trial. Fuck, what was that guy's name? This is a real thing though. This happened.
Yeah, it's probably one of the many Pope Innocents, which is hilarious.
And the thing is, didn't they get like his successor or something, and then say all your retinue get on that ship, and they fired it into the nearest sun. The Vorpal Swords were like, we are not playing.
Oh, they gathered all of his worshippers or something, like all his staff and everything. They were like, sun, boom, just detonate.
Is there books for the Abyssal Crusade, or is it just a codex blurb? I've only ever read it.
I think it's codex
in like the 6th edition codex.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any books.
No, I'm afraid not.
Andy, were you playing with Froggy on this one?
Yes. Yes, again. I was trying my best, but yeah,
I thought she was really good.
That was happening. Yeah, no.
Anyway. I'm telling her that. Oh, I'm fucking telling her that. Not calling you out, but
just comment on the footage like, hey, you're dying quite a lot, Froggy.
That fucking suck.
Is there another one you wanted to mention, Colin, or
let me go through the doc again really quick.
So I can, while you do that, go through some of the ones I picked out.
The files.
I have in the Obscure Marines video I wrote. This isn't a chapter. I just wrote, "What do you mean you lost the 13th founding? Go find it." I don't know if that how funny that is, but I thought that's also not a chapter. Eli said the Avenging Sons. We brought up the Steel Confessors, but at this point, there's the Halo Brethren. They're sure
Halo.
there.
What about the Halo Dragons?
No, Halo Brethren, because Brethren. I don't know.
I don't think they have art.
They don't, but they were
Yeah.
part of the assault against the Eversor Assassin Temple, which, if nothing else, I want to see what that looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just check out the Halo Dragon, see what their color scheme's like, see what you think of it.
Also, Halo's in their name.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
I've got some choice ones to finish us off, if you'd like. First one I wanted to mention is the Angels Penitent. They are Blood Angel successors from the 9th founding. They used to be called the Angels Resplendent. They wore orange armor. They loved to create art, paintings, drawings, scripture, whatever they liked. They were really into it. And for a while, they were completely free of the Black Rage. They were like the only chapter we knew of that was like, Black Rage, completed it. Don't worry about it. Never a scratch on our men. However, one day a man waltzed into their chapter monastery, their fortress monastery, and he just kind of like convinced all of their chaplains that he was an undying martyr. So the entire chaplain creed went, I have an idea. How about a civil war? Let's kill all the people that don't agree with us in the chapter. Tear down all the tapestries, burn all the art, chuck all of your like clay pottery in the bin. We're now going to change our icon from like an angel seraph to a skull with a crown of thorns. All right. We're going to denounce the ecclesiarchy. We're going to destroy all that we used to love about like art and stuff and just meditate and kill things. And we're going to have our great purge of our brothers who don't agree with us. Now the chaplains are in charge of the entire chapter. They wear like camouflage black and brown armor. And the Blood Angels think they're a bit sus. And to be fair, they're pretty sus.
Sounds pretty sus.
Yeah. Ooh. You can actually get a skin of them in Space Marine 2, and I think they're like the only canon current chapter that has like camouflage ceremony. I know that like technically the Salamanders had it way back when, and some other chapters had like their own like little variants, like the Astral Claws. But in terms of like their actual like what they look like, they're the only one I can think of that's like it's actually camouflage. That's kind of cool. Another one, Tiger Claws, successor chapter of the Astral Claws. Speaking of which, they were lost during 280 M40. They reappeared 400 years later on the dot, and they petitioned. They went to like the acting chapter master, who was the captain's like, "We're a bit low on gene seed. I'm going to go to Terra and see if I can get some more." Never heard from him again. Just disappeared. So the chapter's like, "That's not good." So then they went back to their main chapter of origin, the Astral Claws, and they went to a nice fella called Luft Huron, who said, "Don't worry, mate, I've got an idea. I'll sort out your chapter." He basically kept some of the tithes from the Mechanicum during his civil war, gave some of it to the Tiger Claws, and like, "Don't worry about it, I'll sort it." Then the Badab War happened. They were a contributing factor to why it went so messy. And then at the end of the war, there was only 200 left, and they all fell to chaos and are probably now Red Corsairs. Womp womp.
Boo womp.
And the last big one, I say big one. I've got two more. One's very short. Next one, I have to mention them because they're cool. The Storm Wardens. Basically like Welsh/Scottish coded space marines with kilts. They hail from the world of Sacris. They patrol the Halo stars. And they're very isolationist ever since the Age of Apostasy. Their fortress monastery is called High Castle. And ever since this thing called the Nemesis incident during 945 M36, they redacted all their former history. They were like, nope, get it in the bin, chuck it in the filing cabinet, then chuck the filing cabinet off a cliff into a ravine, and then nuke it from orbit. Like, okay, I wonder what happened. Their chapter master, Owen Glindir, who is an actual person from history, was sealed away within the chapter Fortress Monastery with authorization from the High Lords of Terror, along with the entire First Company. They have been in stasis ever since, and all other successors of the First Company are now called the Inheritors. Also, I did a video on this guy, it's very short, but their chapter master or warden master is called Lorgarth MacLear. He is almost as old as Dante. He's like 780 years old. He's not a dreadnought, and he's just a bit of a badass. He's like, I think they're basically Ultramarine successors. They're isolationists, so they have to look after themselves. And this guy is like really good tactician, and they're just a really cool, like they have these big like swords. They're like claymores. They connect to their power packs, and they have like They have to forge the swords by themselves. They're basically, all of their lore is from a Death Watch like supplement, and it's really cool. It's like that kind of, I don't know which edition it was, but I remember when they used to have like all these different spin-off like supplement books and
like
branching off things.
subcodexes.
Yeah, they had loads of them at one point. They all had like a similar like bordering and art style. It's part of that series, and it's really quite fun. And the last one I wanted to mention is the Warriors Adept, right? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Warriors Adept, they don't have any lore. Why would I want to mention the Warriors Adept? Because in my opinion, they are the ugliest Space Marine chapter ever conceived.
Oh, no.
Jesus. All right.
Colin,
That's
I know you're a fan of Crayon Eaters.
Mm-hmm.
Be honest with me. Is this not the original Crayon Eater?
oh boy.
Yeah. Optimus Prime Space Marine.
I thought it would be worse considering what I've seen from Colin Space Marine 2,
Hey,
Rainbow Marine.
hey. You shut the fuck up.
This could only be worse if like every individual part, like the Crayon Eaters, was like a different color. But it's just the whole like, it looks like one of the designers brought their kid to work and they had a bunch of templates with like crayons and they were just like coloring it in and say, what did you make? Oh, okay. I guess I put it in the game.
I made
Why
art.
not? And yeah, they're horrible, disgraceful. Ew, yuck.
Stop
Disgusting.
being mean.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. Seriously.
Damn.
That's all
Crazy.
I wanted to talk about with them. Yeah. So yeah, other than that, any other honorable mentions you guys want to mention that are very brief, that just like, oh, they just exist?
I think I covered the ones I have
Yeah.
in my brain.
There's those Blood Angels who
Yeah.
talked to Zinch, who was
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, the ones from
I
the
don't remember their name,
Mephiston book.
it has angels in their name.
Yeah, they have like orange armor with like tattooed parts on it in like their artwork.
Angels
I
in
do know.
Carmine, or Angels, whatever.
No, they have a
know
weird.
who
It's
it
like
is.
Sons of Boreas or something. It's like a really weird name. They're the ones like supposedly they like cure their black rage, and then they call it like the inner path, where like they all they show one of their librarian blood angels.
Angels
like,
Vermilion.
Yep.
Is it Angels Vermilion?
I think it's them, yeah.
So the
And
chest
like, every
pieces.
time they have the Black Rage, they don't see Horus killing Sanguinius. They see the Cinchian demon that made a deal with their original chapter master, and they have to deny it, being like, I'm going to fall to chaos. And it's like, nah.
Oh no,
No,
this
no,
isn't
no,
the one
no.
I'm thinking of at all. I'm thinking of a completely different one.
There's also
There's literally
like 20
another one.
Angel chapters who like kill Inquisitors and have very edgy secrets that nobody can know about. Which definitely is, it's definitely just the Black Rage and Red Thirst. But
Kind of like this one.
why Eli dressed like a gnome? It's Green Hat Day. That's why.
But with that said, we've got a couple more donations. But before we do that, should we do the question of the week?
Sure. Yes. I'm trying to look for that bloody chapter. I'm trying to look for that one. I can't remember what it's called. Oh,
Angels
it's-
Vermilion, I think.
Okay, no, it's not. Like it's like a really
I was thinking of something
obscure.
else, I think.
Oh, it's like a if I promise you, I literally cannot let this go because I need to know what this is. Bro, what is it? Oh, Antros. The Antros. That's the guy. Antros is the guy who worked with Mephiston, and he's the one who like gets slowly corrupted by chaos because this Blood Angel's successor chapter, they have like we basically go through this like inner path system to like cure the Black Rage, but it turns out it's not. It's actually just a Tzeentch trickery, and if they go down further enough, they actually see like a false emperor, and it's like a demon thing. Oh, I don't know. I literally cannot find the name. It's such a weird name of like this chapter. Oh, never mind. So question of the week, guys. It was from our Grimdark episode. We asked people, how would you make 40k more Grimdark? And you guys delivered. The first one here is by Extra Medium. He says #Grim. I say you have to give each faction an alienating feature like Tau talking, like they're from Boston, or just making the Eldar Canadian.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm so
shout out.
sorry. I gotta kill your entire hive world. Sorry about that.
I'm fucking,
I don't like that.
fucking
I don't like
genocided
that.
here.
Not a fan. Do not like.
Hi there. I'm from I'm from Craft World Soda. I'm
It
going
does
to
sound-
I'm going to take the
Really
path to
do not
warrior.
like.
Minnesota.
Hmm.
Can't do it very well. The next one was by Alex Double AU. Hashtag Grim. How about, hear me out on this one. Colin was reminded of a running gag from a different podcast. As a crackhead arrives to steal the copper wiring, it's
Yes.
gelting time.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Lovely. Next one is by @nerdcasting40k. Hashtag Grim. First, replace the Chaos Gods with Daedric Princes. Second, replace the Death Core of Krieg with Gary from Fallout 3. Thirdly, replace the Space Marine with Gordon Freeman. And finally, give the Necrons RGB lights.
Gary.
This guy's gaming.
Gary.
And the last one was by Raging Kane 88. Hashtag Grim. The Inquisition orders would all be abolished, and the Inquisition henceforth will be run by the penguins from Madagascar. Necrons would
So,
march
Pete, hang on.
Peak indeed.
Necrons would march into battle with RGB lighting. Wow, someone else thinking that. And blaring Carmel dancing?
Caramel dancing.
Caramel
Caramel
dancing.
dancing.
I literally couldn't put the word
ugh.
together. Okay, and then and finally it says, finally for chaos, I just replaced the gods with different Sesame Street puppets. Oscar the Grouch to replace Nurgle. Elmo for Corn. I don't even know. Gary Baldo? I don't even know that one. A Brazilian big bird for Zeech. and Slanesh will be Bert and Ernie. What is that
Peak
comment?
indeed.
Oh my god. Thank you guys.
Is this person not cooking? What do you mean? What is that comment? Please.
What was the first part he said? Which was like Kowalski, Inquisition or something.
Kowalski, exterminatus.
Kowalski put the fingernail thumbs in that man or Cruz.
Well, thank you guys for that one. And the question of the week, what do we think, guys, for
Should we just
question of the week?
say what's your favorite obscure chapter? Like one that no one talks about, never gets the limelight. What's your favorite? How about that?
Yeah, nice.
Hashtag obscure. Well, anyway, thank you all very much for joining us tonight. We hope you had a lovely time. And remember, there's always more. You can make your own Space Marine chapters. You can do all your stuff with making your own lore, so it never ends. Space Marines are always going to keep going forever.
Consume slop. Enjoy
And on
slop.
that note, thank you all very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Grab.